Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to unpack a truly fascinating concept, how to actually reclaim control of your mind from all those invisible distractions of the modern world. We'll be looking at some incredibly powerful insights on mental discipline, intentional habits, and, well, even a little bit of social strategy. So if you've been feeling kind of scattered or mentally drained lately, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention to the frameworks we're breaking down today. Think about how your day usually starts. You wake up, you grab your phone. It's not even a conscious decision at this point, is it? You're doing it automatically, literally before your mind even has a chance to fully wake up and take a breath. And in that exact moment, your brain no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the world. You're already reacting to notifications, messages, and just noise before you've even had a single independent thought. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how quickly this trap compounds. You tell yourself, oh, I'll just scroll for 1 minute. But we all know that one harmless minute turns into 10 minutes of being completely lost in a feed. 10 becomes 30 minutes of being mentally trapped. And suddenly the entire start of your day is compromised. Instead of you choosing your focus was chosen for you. Okay, moving into section 1, the invisible mental drain and how we leak our strength. We so often tell ourselves that we just need more discipline, right? Because we feel like we've completely lost our mental strength. But the truth is, you don't lose it all at once in some massive dramatic event. You lose it quietly every single day. Here is the massive plot twist. When we feel weak, our first instinct is to just add force. We think we just need to chug another cup of coffee and try harder. But building mental strength is actually about removing leaks. It's about stopping that constant task switching, ending the urge to escape into your phone the very second you feel a little discomfort, and turning down that endless noise. You aren't lacking power, you are leaking it. Section 2, the ego's hidden traps and the fear of success. So, ask yourself, when you procrastinate on a really big project or you shrink back in a conversation, what's really holding you back? You might think it's a fear of failure, but actually, scratch that. The reality is much deeper. Your brain naturally consumes about 20% of your body's energy, so it is literally biologically wired to be lazy and vote for what scientists call cognitive ease. Your ego acts like this overprotective security guard, keeping you in safe, familiar roles, like playing the struggling artist or the quiet one. As this quote perfectly captures, achieving true success requires dropping those safe masks. You aren't afraid of failing, you are terrified of the transformation that real success demands. So how do we break free and build some authentic authority over our own minds? Well, it's a 3-step process. First, you've got to recognize when your ego has hijacked you just to keep things predictable. Second, observe the fear without actually becoming it. There is a massive difference between saying I am a failure and saying I am noticing a feeling of failure within me. That tiny little shift, it creates so much space. And finally, vote for your new identity with small, consistent, hard actions. That brings us to section 3, the CEO morning routine and conditioning the mind. This conditioning starts the exact moment you open your eyes, which is exactly why high performers and CEOs obsessively protect their first hour. And this brilliantly illustrates that stark contrast. A typical morning is purely reactive. It's filled with noise, immediate stimulation, and survival mode. You basically become addicted to disorder. But an intentional morning creates silence and space, immediately putting you in leadership mode. High performers protect their attention above absolutely all else because, let's face it, whatever captures your attention captures your entire life. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about having some superhuman motivation to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. It is entirely about your nervous system. Identity forms through repetition. Simple, intentional actions like drinking a glass of water, sitting in stillness for a few minutes, or just delaying your technology use send a powerful, repeated signal to your brain. I am in control. You're basically providing your nervous system with daily, undeniable evidence that you direct your life rather than just blindly reacting to it. Moving on to section 4, the fox and the lion, or what we can call Machiavellian defense. Once you step out your front door, you have to navigate a world full of varying motives. And in this arena, being purely nice all the time can actually be pretty dangerous. This is known as the kindness trap. So often we use empathy and agreeableness as this pretty little mask to hide our fear of setting hard boundaries. But listen, when you are always available and you literally never say no, you kind of stop being a person in other people's eyes. You become a utility. You become a tool on a shelf, like an emergency button they push only when they need something, rather than a respected presence. To protect yourself without turning into a jerk, you need to channel 2 specific archetypes. The first is the fox. The fox represents social intelligence.
It's the ability to proactively observe your surroundings, read between the lines, see the traps way before you step into them, and understand what people truly want, well beyond the words they are actually saying to you.
But being clever just isn't enough. You also must be the lion. And this isn't about being loud or aggressive, not at all. It's about radiating an assertive presence and a quiet strength. It's about setting firm boundaries so that absolutely everyone around you knows you are fully capable of taking action if necessary. That quiet strength is what commands real earned respect.
All right, Section 5, 5 Intentional Growth Hobbies, your new curriculum. So, we've mastered the morning, and we've got our social defenses up, but what about your free time? Most people don't realize that their daily hobbies are actually training their brain. You really have to look closely at the curriculum you are feeding it. Passive dopamine is cheap. It's scrolling, it's consuming, reacting, and it leaves you feeling completely empty by the end of the day. Earned dopamine, on the other hand, comes from discovery, learning, and building. This is neuroplasticity in real-time action. You are quite literally rewiring your brain for growth.
There are 5 specific intentional hobbies that compound over time. First, learning, which makes you a hunter of knowledge. Second, movement, which activates your mind. Third, creation, forcing you to actually finish things instead of just consuming them. Fourth, reflection, which turns raw experience into actual, usable insight. And fifth, building, which gives you measurable purpose. By engaging in these, you completely stop being a victim of your circumstances, and you become a student of systems.
So the crucial point is how all these elements tie together, particularly movement. Your mind lives inside your physical body. If you cannot control your physical vessel, you will literally never master your mind. Choose the temporary discomfort of movement over the slow, invisible decay of comfort, because a stagnant body will absolutely always create a stagnant mind.
And when it comes to that final hobby, building, you've got to embrace the 1,000-day rule. Building isn't about instant gratification. It requires trading short-term comfort for the long-term power of creating something that truly matters, something that outlasts you. It takes time, patience, and just unwavering consistency over years, not just days. And finally, Section 6, reclaiming your identity, the final battle. I can guarantee you, the very moment you decide to take control of your mornings, set boundaries like the lion, and build these intentional hobbies, internal friction is going to hit you like a freight train. This friction is called the resistance. It's that sneaky internal voice whispering, hey, just one more minute of scrolling, or come on, you can start tomorrow. But here's how you reframe that. The resistance isn't your enemy. It is the compass and the ultimate guardian of your greatness. If it is pulling you away from doing something hard, that is exactly the direction you must lean into. Always remember that you are the observer of your thoughts, not the victim of them. You do not have to drown in the noise anymore. Focus is not just some skill you learn, it is a state you aggressively protect. Every single time you say no to an unnecessary notification or push through that initial discomfort, you are reclaiming your mental depth. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought today. As you step out of passivity, reclaim your attention, and start building your foundation, what kind of person are you finally giving yourself permission to become? Because the answer to that question changes absolutely everything. Start building the evidence for that new identity today.